So
my good side, what's my good? You cannot show my belly.
You cannot show my belly.
Oh, and that, wow, we're really twins, because I always say, Gresha, not the damn side view.
No more belly.
All right, I'm not the only self-conscious one here. All right.
You know, if you show my belly, I'm going to tell the world about how you hooked up with last night.
And he has a big channel. You got to watch out.
How many guys and girls hooked up at this meet and greet? Just one. Just one couple. I'm going to let you guess who it is, and I'm just going to hone in on your face.
Great. I love it all.
And you edit, right?
No, Gresha.
You edit. I mean, if I put
yeah.
If I swallow my words.
That's why I got you back.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm sure. You guys think he's a good blogger, huh? Look at this.
Yeah, so Gresha, this is where you say it depends if you tell about my, you know, new boyfriend.
It's a secret now. I'll die with that secret. I'll die with that secret.
Now that he knows you're the editor. How's it going, guys? I got my buddy Mike here. I have followed his channel for quite a while, Mike's Philippine Retirement, but I'm excited to finally get to talk to him in person today. Let's go. So Mike, good to finally meet you in person yesterday.
It was great, John. I'm glad you invited us. It was a lot of fun. Jan and I always find a good reason to come up here to Cebu and meet some good people here in Cebu City.
Yeah, so there was a YouTubers meet and greet here yesterday, and I was surprised having you guys and a few others came all the way from Dumaguete.
Yes, a couple of the girls came up. Wang invited us, and whenever Wang wants to do something, we'll do it. She's a great friend of the family, and we enjoy hanging out with her. And I'm glad to meet you finally.
Thank you.
You know, I've seen your channel before, and it's an honor to meet you, and thanks for inviting us.
Really appreciate it. So tell us a bit more about yourself, Mike. Where are you from?
I'm going to call I'm from Las Vegas. I moved to Las Vegas in '97, and I left in 2019. Then I went to stay in New Mexico, and then COVID hit, and I got stuck in New Mexico for a couple of years. And came over to the Philippines in February of 22.
Okay.
Right after they opened up.
Right, so when did you start your channel?
We started August of 2022.
So in, you know, about a year, you're already up to 15, 16,000
yeah,
subscribers?
hopefully we hit 16,000 this week. We're going to hit 2 million views in the next few days, and you know, we'll do something special about that. Yeah, this has been a shock to me and Janet. When we first started the channel, we wanted to do show a friend of ours some houses he was interested in renting. And I had no way to take that 5-6 minute video and send it to him. And I remember I tried to do a YouTube during the pandemic. And I said, well, let me just upload it to this YouTube channel. He can watch it. Right. And next thing I know, people are watching it. And after a month, we had one video that got like 164,000 views. And
amazing.
I told Janet, let's try, see what happens. And I'll be happy with 2,000 subscribers and, you know, making 30, 50 bucks a month as long as we're happy doing this. And it's been quite a journey so far.
I can imagine. Yeah, guys, if you haven't checked out Mike's Philippine Retirement, I left the link below. I think what people love, just very down-to-earth, you know, kind of content with you and Janet.
I'm showing our life. Everything I talk about is what happened to me. I'm not trying to tell anybody they should do this way, or they should have this budget, or this is going to happen to them. I just show them what I do, things what it costs me to do, the house I live in, how much my rent is. And the information that I wanted when I was in the U.S. during COVID, I wanted to know how much a dozen eggs cost and how much you know, rent was and a bottle of water. I wanted to know all that information. So we started out grassroots. We just started showing the basics, getting one subscriber at a time, one viewer at a time. I answer all my comments in the beginning. Every comment me and Janet would answer, and it grew. Now I can't answer all. I think we try and get about 90% of them, but it's we love it, and we love our viewers and our audience.
Nice. So let's back up a bit. You're still in Vegas. Now you're in the Philippines. How'd that happen?
Well, I was married to a Philippine American.
Okay.
And we came over here a couple times.
Was she born in the Philippines?
She was born in the Philippines. She was the young bride taken over to the U.S. And then, you know, they divorced. And she was in her 40s when we got together. But the Las Vegas community of Filipinos and Filipinos was tremendous. I loved going to the birthday parties. Everybody's house I went to, they were more concerned with me being comfortable and me having a plate of food than they were about anything else. I was their guest, and they didn't even know me. You know, I'm just my wife at the time was a second cousin or something, or just a friend of a friend, but they treated you like good family. And so in 2015, I decided, we were already divorced, but in 2015, I decided I was going to move to the Philippines when I retire. And I started watching Ned, Bud Brown, Rick A, to get an idea of the Philippines. And I just kept working towards that goal, and eventually I got tired of working, I retired, and COVID cost me 2 to 3 years. But, you know, as it is right now, I'm very happy with what happened and how it came out.
I get it. So you mentioned Janet as well. That's your wife here.
To be.
Wife to be.
Yes.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
A little bit ahead of yourself.
All right.
But, you know, we're going through the paperwork process. You know, I didn't bring my divorce papers with me. So you needed that. So I had to send away for those. We have those, and now we're going through the paperwork that she has to get. And it's a process. Nothing moves fast. You know, you go down there, they take your name, your information, and they'll contact you. And the day we get all the paperwork back is the day we'll go ahead and get married. We always said we wanted to be together for a year before we made that commitment. A lot of guys jump into marriage too fast. They get off the plane, they get off the boat, and the girl they've been talking to online, let's get married. You have to remember, once you marry that girl, and if for some reason you have to go back to the States and you don't come back anymore, she's committed now. She can't get divorced.
Yeah.
She's married, and there's certain laws and rules governing a married woman and what they can do. You really put her in a box. So make sure you're going to be here full-time, long-term, before you get married.
Yeah, absolutely. I find there's a lot of things where guys are, you know, watching videos like this, channels like, you know, yours. I was same as you, watching Enrique and Gio, you know, when I was still in the U.S., trying to find out about life in the Philippines. And I think a lot of the guys, you know, will kind of point out you got to find the right Filipina and things like that. But I think it's a lot of the guys that are kind of stringing women along.
There's a scam both ways.
Yeah.
You know, guys worry about girls scamming them online. All scammers are drawn to online. It's easy to hide behind the keyboard and scam you. In person, you're not going to run into the scammers. You can tell if a girl's using you for your money or she likes you in person. But the key thing, and I notice a lot of guys are doing this now, they're coming here and establishing their own home first. They're living here, they're renting their house, they're renting their apartment. And when they meet somebody that day, whenever it happens, but they're not here off the plane looking for a girlfriend. They're off the plane looking for a place to live, a place to enjoy their retirement. And I'm happy that this newer group is coming here to the Philippines, taking the advantage of the lower cost of living, the more relaxed lifestyle, and a chance to reestablish yourself as a human being, as a person.
So I'm curious if you don't mind asking.
Sure.
You know, you mentioned you were married to Filipino-born or Philippines-born,
Yes.
you know, American.
Yeah, she's an American citizen when I met her. Yes.
So how long had she lived there?
I'm going to say 20 years.
Okay.
20 years. You know, like I said, she was a young bride, or, you know, fiance brought over. I never really got into her past history of that, but I knew that's what it was. And, you know, she was a great girl. It just didn't work out.
Sure.
That's all, you know.
So, you know, now being engaged to a Filipina living here, how do you find, if anything, you know, and also you mentioned being around a lot of other wonderful Filipinos living in the U.S., do you feel like there's much of a difference between, you know, Filipinos that were born in the Philippines but living over in the U.S., compared to Filipinos?
Big difference. It's a big difference. I believe their values are the same. Family, their religion, their religious beliefs. But it's a different type of tradition here. And I can only speak for Janet. I can't, and Janet's behind the camera watching all this. That she has so much love and care for me and her son. Her whole world is the three of us. And I always ask her, "Are you happy?" And she's always happy. And she's happy, cleaning the house for the family, cooking meals for the family, coming to Cebu together to enjoy vacation. And what makes her happy is taking care of her family. And she's not so much how much money we have, not so much of a career for her, because she missed the boat on a career. And it's a sad thing here in the Philippines. So many women have children early. And it's because they met a boy that they love and they think they're going to have a happy life together. You don't go into the relationship thinking it's going to end in 6 months. And she had a child, so she had to go right out of high school to get a job to support her family. So she didn't have the opportunity to go to college. Her idea of a perfect life, and I hate to speak for her, but we've talked about this, is taking care of the family. Her son getting an education, me being healthy. Her main concern when she wakes up is the house clean, is the coffee made, does her son have breakfast, does he get off to school. It's a totally different vibe with a woman with traditional values here. Now there's another younger set of Filipino women here who are educated, that go to college, and they're smart, and they want more than just the traditional family, but they still want the husband and the kids.
I understand. So what about in the U.S.? How do you feel American culture impacted Filipinos living there?
The hustle of earning a living. Here, the husband can make enough money to take care of the family. In the U.S., both people have to work, unless you're lucky enough somebody has a fabulous job. But most times, both couples have to work. The hustle of getting your kids off to school, getting to the job on time, making money to pay the mortgage, pay the bills. Bills are overwhelming in the U.S., as you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's expensive to live there. Everybody wants to go there, and you can make a lot of money, but the expenses are high. Car insurance, interest on getting a car or a mortgage.
Housing.
Just renting alone is very expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned, traditional, kind of values with a lot of Filipinos here, even if they've, highly educated, working, different things like that. Do you find that that's changing in the Philippines at all?
I see, I think they want to hold on to the values, but the world is changing so fast that a woman wants to take care of her parents, they want to take care of their family. And sometimes those girls or boys are pushed through college, not forced, but the whole family helps support them through college. And they have to repay that. They have to go work and then put the next child through college. And so they have the pressure of earning a living. And this involves overseas working. For them to get top jobs, they have to work overseas, and that's 2 to 3 year contracts or longer away from their family. If they have children, or they don't have children, if it's just their parents and their siblings, they're separated for years, working, sending the money home so their sibling can go to college. And the next one, and try to better the family. It's always the betterment of the family, not the betterment of the individual.
Yeah, it's incredible different, far more of a, we culture, Western culture, a lot more of a me culture. So what about living in Dumaguete? So many expats there, which is part of why I don't want to live there. I'm trying to escape the expats, even though I meet a lot of great guys like you that live over there. But why there in the Philippines?
Well, take Dumaguete geographically. Not many earthquakes, no volcanoes. Most typhoons miss Dumaguete. They go up the East Coast, up to Luzon, above Cebu here. So all that is nicer. It's a fine balance between Western style and traditional Philippine style there. Where Janet and I live in Cantilly, just below Valencia, we can get on our bike, and in 15 minutes we can be on top of the mountain. We could be at the Ocean Beach, or we can be downtown Dumaguete in a coffee shop, Ground Zero or Tom and Tom's, enjoying the company of other expats. The variety is there. And it's more like a small college town. You have this young group of people who are going to university there. They have Silliman University and a couple other universities. And then you have the older retired group. And Dumaguete is starting to have a good middle class, a Filipino middle class. Filipinos that have jobs, they have motorcycles, they have cars, pickup trucks all over the place, property. And you can see in the restaurants that foreigners used to be the only ones there. You see a lot of Filipinos going there for dinner, for lunch, and I think it's too expensive to eat there.
Right.
And they're eating there. So it's a nice middle class developing in Dumaguete.
Very good. So for all the guys that are, watching like you and I were before, moving over here, what do you think are the top things that you would tell them to think about before coming?
Your money. Number one thing is your money. Money gets you out of trouble. Money helps if you have medical issues. Just being here, I tweaked my back the other day, so you never know when you need to go to the hospital. Take care of things. You want to move, something comes up, you have a bad landlord situation, you need to move. You got to have money to make these quick moves to adjust. But you need to have your finances in order. If you're going to be on Social Security or a pension, get a couple checks first before you come here. Make sure it's getting put in the right bank account. Make sure you know how to transfer that money here. Too many guys are calling me middle of the night. Mike, my check was supposed to be in the bank. It's not there. What's the number to Social Security? How do I call the U.S.? I can't help you with those kind of things. You're supposed to take care of your business. Get your life in order and then come here. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You're a grown man. You know what your budget is, what you can afford and what you can afford to do. But have your money right. Have a way to contact your bank. Have a way to get your mail. And from there, it's up to you.
So how do you find, you mentioned it's very expensive living in the U.S. What's cost of living like, in Dumaguete?
Dumaguete, it's doable. I'm going to say you need to be, if you want, it depends on your lifestyle, and that's anywhere. You can live in Cebu or Manila and whatever your finances are. But Dumaguete City, I think you can live comfortably between $1,500 and $2,000. I have a budget of $1,700, and out of that, $300 of that just covers my medical cost every month. I put that aside for medical. Janet and I pay 23,000 pesos for our rent. It's a 4-bedroom, Western-style house. It's a nice home. A lot of negatives, a lot of positives. You're never going to find the perfect house. But rent is starting to go up. Finding that $150 a month apartment or house is like no anymore.
Right.
That's more the boarding house of the Filipino migrant workers who come out of the mountains to work in Dumaguete. They'll rent a boarding house room for 4,000 pesos or 6,000. But if you want a comfortable Western style house, be prepared to pay $300 a month and up to $1,000 a month, depending on your lifestyle. You want to live on the beach with 5 bedrooms and a pool, you can get that, but it's going to cost you.
Yeah. So you mentioned, around 15 to 7, no, about
15 to 2,000 a month. I believe you can have a comfortable Western style life in the Philippines.
Okay.
But you need your startup money. You're going to need to buy a motorbike or a car or some way to have transportation. You're going to need to buy some kitchen appliances, a coffee maker.
Sure.
And,
so a bit more startup funds initially.
And that something I really push is that emergency fund. Have that money set aside in case you get a bad report from the doctor and you got to go back to the U.S. or you have an accident and you break your leg and you got to go see the doctor and pay everything yourself. Just have some money. Money gets you out of trouble.
Yeah, and I'd say where I live in Cebu City, it's about the same. 1,500 to 2,000, you're going to be fine here. Yeah. But when I heard you say you pay like 23,000 pesos for a 4-bedroom house, I kind of choked, because in Cebu City that would get you like a studio, condo that's 25 square meters. So you get a lot more.
I think you get more bang for your buck in Dumaguete than you do here. Remember, Dumaguete is only 140,000 people. It swells a little bit during work hours, maybe up to 160. But all in all, it's not expensive.
Yeah.
It's not expensive.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Coffee is the #1 expense all of a sudden. A cup of coffee is costing over $1, and there's no free refills. So you want a second cup, it's $2. Third cup, $3. You know, so.
Yeah, I miss those free refills at diners or places
go to Denny's,
in the U.S.
sit there all day and drink a cup of coffee, or all night when you used to drive cross country. Yeah.
Yeah, they got a Denny's in Cebu City. There's 1 cup.
One cup.
Yeah, and it probably costs more than the Denny's. In
Yeah,
the
and
US.
it's a small cup. It isn't like you're getting a big mug or 16-ounce cup of coffee. It's the coffee is a shocker here. The cost of coffee.
Yeah, I think that people, watching don't realize that if you want to get Western kind of quality or standard of stuff, or even not quite that high quality, often it costs more than it would in the US.
Anything that's shipped here from the U.S., it's a double-edged sword. The rate of exchange is going up. So that means the cost of goods costs more that you get from the U.S. So you're getting more on your month for your dollar in the pesos, but you're paying more for U.S. goods. If you don't need U.S. goods, it's good for you. But if you like Lay's potato chips, like my downfall, Lay's potato chips, I like a can of Spam once in a while, cut it up for breakfast and that. Those are expensive. Yeah. Compared to what you paid back home.
Yeah, and I tell you what I've started doing recently is I'm ordering on Amazon, so now Amazon for, not everything on Amazon, but so much on Amazon, as long as you spend $50 or more, it's free shipping.
Yeah, I got a video on that.
Ah, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
check that out on Mike's channel over there.
I bought a bunch of clothes. I bought cargo pants, and find a brand that you're familiar with, that you know what sizes fit you, because different brands, different sizes. And you can order those clothes here if you're a bigger guy. So don't be afraid coming here thinking you have to have enough clothes for 10 years. Just bring enough. You can order from Amazon. Amazon is fabulous. Took less than 30 days to get all the stuff we ordered.
I get stuff between 3 and 14 days.
You're
recently.
Up here in Cebu.
That's
and,
right.
And the longer they do it, and the more people order, the more streamlined Amazon will get. That's the type of company they are. They're streamlined.
Yes. Well, they're dealing with logistics partners here on the ground in the Philippines. So
the last mile is hard.
Yes.
Getting it to the shore of the Philippines is easy. That last mile is tough.
Absolutely. But I think it opens up so much more now that you're not paying $50 in shipping. You're not paying anything in shipping.
Absolutely. And they're brands you're familiar with and you're comfortable buying. Where you go to Lazada or the Chinese brands, you don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, and the refund situation is tough. Amazon's good. We're all familiar with Amazon if you come from the U.S. or Canada here, and it's good to deal with a company you're familiar with and you can trust.
Absolutely. So, Mike, it's been really good having you on the channel. I appreciate you making the time.
Thank you for having me. This was a nice conversation. It's a beautiful place you have here, and
thank you.
The food was excellent at the deli.
Delish Deli. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, and John's wife runs it, so.
Yes, yeah, I'm lucky. There's a lot of work running a restaurant there, so she takes care of all that. I'm here with the BPO, and we make a good team that way.
That's great.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, make sure and check out Mike Philippine Retirement and see his soon-to-be wife. Boy, I'm really trying to get you married off here, Mike. So,
if you ask Janet what we are, what are you, Janet? Come here, Janet. Come here.
we got to have Janet on the channel for a second here. I'm sure people want to look at her more than you, Mike.
Always. Oh my God. They said let Janet sit down. You talk in the background. So Janet, she can sit whenever anybody asks. Like the doctor called me on the phone for an appointment, and Janet goes, "I'm Mike's partner." We are a life partner. We're going to get married, of course, but for this last year, everything we do is together to better each one of us and her son. And she's my partner in life, and I'm so blessed to have found her.
All right. Well done, Janet.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
See you later. Bye.
All right, guys. Check out their channel. Say hi to them from me. Leave a comment over there. And as always, guys, appreciate you taking the time to watch. Take care.